I'm live? Okay. How are you guys doing? Doing all right? Well, welcome to another edition of Happy Hour. My name is Bob Peters, and we are streaming Facebook Live to you guys from the Cool Fish Bar. Hopefully, home straight into your living room. Safe and sound, right? Absolutely. Listen, we are going on week 1.5. We've been doing, I think we've done about 6 episodes now here at Happy Hour. And we're very excited to bring you something fun and something interesting. Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock. Something to bring you a little joy to your week, and definitely something to help you with your happy hour libations. We've done everything so far from some classic cocktails to some easy to do things. We've done some fresh syrups with recipes, twists on classic cocktails. We've done a bunch of really fun stuff. But we have something a little special for you today. That's right, we've got a special guest today. But before I tell you all about that, I want to make sure that everybody at home is following along on Instagram at CoolFishLKN. And again, we're going to be doing these live streams for Happy Hour Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 5 o'clock. And we hope you guys join along. If you guys have any questions or comments or suggestions about future happy hours, just type them in below, and Alex will respond to them as quick as possible. If you do it while we're still going live, then we might be able to even actually answer as we're still going live. So you guys feel free to type in any suggestions or comments, whatever it is, right below in the comment section, okay? All right, Alex, what am I forgetting? Anything? Okay. Well, okay, well, let's just get this thing moving. So we are very lucky to have Jade Finn with us, the head mixologist over at the Barrel and Fork, which is right down the street. Right. That's right. And he is going to be doing a bunch of really fun stuff. Up here at Cool Fish, we are all about community, so we wanted to bring in some of our neighbors in a very respectful, very social, distant, very safe way in order to bring some fun stuff for you guys and also share some of our community feel with you guys at home. Okay, so that means a couple interesting things here. I'm not going to be making any drinks. I get to test some drinks, so I'm excited about that. But you know what that means? That means that I don't need an apron. So I'm excited. Take that thing off. It's actually kind of hot. I'm going to put this off to the side. And we're going to have Mr. Jade come up here. Let me make sure that I have all my stuff straight. A little hand sanitizer. I don't think I touched any of your stuff. In fact, I'm positive I didn't touch any of your stuff. Make sure. Good, there. And then before I move around anymore, we are very respectful. Put my mask on. How's that? How do I look? Good? All right, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right, come on around.
All right. We ready to go? Ready to rock this thing? All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Jade. I'm Dave, the head bartender at Barrel and Fork here in beautiful Cornelia, North Carolina. We haven't been at it for long. We've been at it for about 6 months now. But you know, one step inside the bar, and it would be hard to tell. The building has been there since 1905, and it definitely has that feeling, a timeless feeling, which is really what we're trying to shoot for. So, our attention is obviously classics, or I think just about any bartender worth his salt these days, or her salt, will tell you that what we do is very steeped in the classics, and we're certainly no different. You know, I could tell you that I have reinvented the Manhattan, but it is the world's most perfect cocktail. So I don't see necessarily the reason to reinvent something that is perfect. However, I can give it to you in a way that is more authentic, with more attention, more detail, with more of a nod to the original drink itself. And we'll get into that in a minute, but instead of simply using a sweet vermouth, we might use, for example, a Cocchi Dopo Teatro from the Piedmontese region. Anyway, we'll get into that in just a second. Let's start making some drinks, and we'll put our own twists on that as well. But also make our house old fashioned, which is one of the things we do, not just a nod to the classics, but we utilize bitter flavor profile. For example, Amari's and the French do some wonderful floral bitter liqueurs as well. Suze is one of my favorites. It's a gentian liqueur, and one of these days we'll have to maybe come back and make a proper white Negroni with a great Suze, which is one of the great liqueurs, gentian liqueurs. So we are going to start out with a Manhattan, but as I said, we're going to kind of give it our own special twist, and we'll kind of show you a little about what we do there at Barrel and Fork. So I love Waterford, especially the Marquis series old-fashioned glasses. This is a 12-ounce double old-fashioned, and it's when you're dealing with this leaded crystal, it's dense. It's just got this beautiful feel to it. I mean, you feel like you've got a drink, and we've been enjoying Irish leaded crystal for over 100 years, and some of the stuff they do is amazing. And you can always drink out of a regular glass, but to drink out of a good leaded crystal is a really unique, beautiful experience. So we are going to. This is typically what I do. I put my stirring glass here in the front, and we are gonna let's get right to it. Oh, yeah. Probably doesn't look good for the camera, does it? We're going to start out with Rittenhouse Rye. It's Kentucky Rye. It's a bottle and bond product. I won't get into too much of the bottle and bond. It is 100 proof, and it's the owners live in Rittenhouse Square there in Philadelphia, where I did some bartending back in the day. It is you go to any good bar, something about Rittenhouse Rye. Any good bar will tell you. Any good bartender will tell you it's just a fantastic spirit. So we're going to go 2 ounces on this Manhattan. And my next ingredient, we're going to use vermouth. Obviously, it's a Manhattan. We are going to use Bonal. This is a French quina gentian flower aromatized wine. It is technically a vermouth because it has artemisia, which is wormwood in it. But true to the French style, they love their gentian, and I love them for loving that. It gives, even now when you think about French flavors, especially when it comes to cocktail, floral is a very big part of that, and a big part of that is the gentian flower. But we also have some other ingredients here, including rhubarb and quina bark. And so fantastic. And the great thing about Bonal is that the quina adds this slight bitter undertone to the finish. Sweet vermouth, kind of some intense dark fruits, sweet, but then this really nice mild quina bitter finish. And if you ever had a quina-based aromatized wine, you'll notice that it's very distinctive flavor. But it makes for a fantastic, instead of just like a sweet bomb, it's got those, you really get the herbal essence out of that. So we're going to add a 0.75, and my beautiful Japanese jigger. I love sexy bar tools. I think there's nothing better than a sexy bar tool. And actually, I did a little mix up. I'm going to use. We're going to do that up. So in other words, going to do this over ice. I'm going to use a Fostoria Fern. It's a 1928 Fostoria Fern. If you're going to drink a Depression era cocktail, it's not. It predates the Depression. This cocktail, but this is. you know, during the Depression, people were bootlegging and, you know, speakeasy and drinking probably out of that very same glass. So it's that wonderful continuity for me that I just love. So we're going to give it a special spin now. I love Pedro Jimenez sherry. You'll notice bars using more sherry. Pedro Jimenez is intensely sweet. It offers some amazing body. It's one of my favorites. I've been utilizing dry sherries, Paulo Cortadas. I love all kinds of sherry. It just adds such beautiful nutty flavors, and in this case, it's going to be sweet, but it's going to add this body to the cocktail that is going to be so pleasant. So we're going to add, but a little goes a long way. So we're going to do a 1/4 ounce there as well. So and you notice I'm building this with no ice, so that way if I get to talking or distracted, I don't have a cocktail that's over diluting. And then something that you don't get an over diluted cocktail as soon as you sit down. That's no fun. So obviously now one of the most important aspects is ice. So let me get my bitters first of all. Being a Manhattan, that's going to need that bitter element. So I'm going to do 2 dashes. Ethan needs a little more, so slow dash on that. One of the things I love is, you know, in the days before ice machines, every bartender pretty much had a block of ice like this. It was clear and dense. It was cut right out of a lake, and put it behind the bar and chip away all night. And that's, you know, you got your drink cold, but it was probably lake ice like this. So we have a great ice distributor. They also do amazing. Just a little shout out to Artisan Ice in Charlotte. They do some ice sculptures that are just out of this world. But they also provide ice for about 32 cocktail bars and bars here in the Charlotte area. So they provide us with this beautiful, clear, solid, Vernet ice. And the reason why this is important is because it's very dense. So density equals cold. It equals a proper dilution point, so I can control my dilution. So if I were just throwing any old ice in there, it would be challenging for me to get the proper dilution point, right? It's going to dilute a lot quicker if I just dump it in a bunch of chipped ice. So by using this, and as well, you'll see this in when we do on the rock cocktail. And this is how I do it, right at barrel and fork. Basically, chip right in the well, chip a la piece. Now we're going to actually stir with this. It does get a little spraying, so I have to be careful that I you don't get hit with an ice chip. Well, that's part of the fun too. All right. So obviously we never want to touch the ice, so always use our tongs for health reasons. Even before all this nonsense, we always do it properly. We never want to put fingers on the ice at all. So because ice is food. You don't think of ice as food, but it absolutely is. It's something that we consume. So this is a nod to the Japanese as well. They do block ice when they do stirring. That water. So we're going to use a 40 centimeter bar spoon. We're going to give that. I usually go on color. And it's a slower dilution, so but that way I'm going to hit a better dilution point. Oh yeah. So this is a stirring glass. I don't know if anybody is fond of antique marks, but shout out to Sleepy Poet on South Boulevard. They have some awesome bar stuff. There you get a chance to make it down there. So this is a stirred cocktail. The reason we stir is it is an alcohol. It's primarily alcoholic ingredients. So if there's juice in there, whether it may have egg white, you don't want to shake, but there's no reason to shake something. I would over dilute it almost as soon as I got started. So again, dilution point. Nobody wants an over or under diluted cocktail. So you know what? Let's do this. If I'm a little out of practice, I apologize. I've been 2 months doing a lot of biking and a lot of other things. So it's my first time behind the bar at least that long. So I might be a little rusty. So these are hickory chips, and we're going to get a little hickory smoke infusion there.
Ryan says cheers.
Who's that?
Ryan Parsons.
Okay, nice. Cheers. And you can't see much of the alcohol burning off, so I don't know if it does much for the visuals on camera, but it got a nice flame going. And while that's, and we have to char up those chips a little bit. So to create the smoke element we need. So while that's burning up a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and add some nice cherries. You ever get a chance to do some dark cherries, I highly recommend it. And there's just something about those cherries, man. It just adds that nice touch here. Found these wonderful metal, they disappear a lot at the bar, but if you're willing to do the expensive metal picks, I highly recommend it. The overall, the visual impression is fantastic. So give that a second. Well, I'm going to go ahead and clean this. Give that just a few more minutes. I don't know how we're doing on time. I get so wrapped up sometimes. I'm like.
We're in good shape.
All right, let's.
5:20.
Sweet.
So Jade, is this one of y'all's over the barrel and fork? Is this one of y'all's more popular drinks?
It is. We do lots of, I call it takes on Manhattans because we have over 20 aromatized wines, which includes Americanos, Quinas, classic vermouths, and lots of whiskey selections. So we can do a Manhattan in just about any way you can imagine. And it's amazing how different you can tweak those flavors out. Instead of doing bitters, I can do an Amaro like Zucchero Barbaro. Instead of doing a high corn rye, I can do a 100% rye and really kind of focus on those spice elements. Maybe you use a nice New York style rye. It's a Manhattan, but there's so many ways to tweak out flavors and create variety and complexity that it becomes a beautiful kind of all-purpose go-to cocktail. So if you go into Barrel and Fork, you'll see our aromatized wine program kind of all splayed out there. And I think we got some decent char there. So this my cloche. This is the cloche. It comes in handy with this stuff. And we consider doing a smoking gun, which is more of the traditional methodology behind this, but let me give that just another second. So I like lots of smoke. All right, well, we'll give that another second. Let's get to work on, let's talk a little bit about our, this is our signature, is our B&F Old Fashioned, Barrel and Fork Old Fashioned. Traditional Old Fashioned, obviously, bourbon, or you could really use any spirit at all. Hello. Bitters, aromatic bitters, and sugar. So, but again, there's so many variations therein. My variation, because we love Amaros so much, we use a little Zucchero Barbaro. I use a little bacon wash Doolin dry vermouth, so it's actually technically a Manhattan. A little turbinado, sugar in the raw, and a good bourbon whiskey. So, and I think we're looking pretty good there. So, I usually use I love a bar spoon because it's kind of like your third pair of hands. So I'm buying a bar. And we're basically going to put that fire out by placing the cloche on top. We're going to extinguish the flame and then create the smoke. So usually I leave about 30, 45 seconds there because we want some of that smoke, that hickory smoke, to infuse with the cocktail itself. So it's actually very pleasant on the fingers as well. When you pick up the cocktail, you'll notice that hickory smoke is just such a delightful aspect. So again, we are going to use our double old fashioned marquee Waterford. And I'm going to go ahead and get that set up. And another advantage of using the block ice is that it melts very, very slowly. So it gives me a lot of time when I'm making a drink.
Jade, can you hold that up a little bit higher so we can see it on camera?
Yeah. I'm so used to keeping it low so I don't, so the shit doesn't hit anybody in the face. And I usually just kind of go for that dead center, but I've gotten pretty good at kind of gauging where it's going. So kind of cut it into the appropriate. Well, also by hand cutting, I can really get it appropriate to the vessel. So sometimes I'll use a zombie glass or a smaller rocks glass, or I'll use little smaller bits for stirring. So that's a pretty good piece. I don't always get it right. We'll see if I get it right. I need another kick. That's just part of the finagling. And haven't forgot about the cocktail. It should be producing some nice smoke right about now. All right, let's go ahead and produce our Manhattan. Ready? And there she goes. So you notice the ships have extinguished. I usually offer a nice crystal coaster. I really love the fact that bars are using coasters more now. I've always been a fan. I think they look great, especially a nice crystal coaster. So let's see, you've got to get that in the proper place. And I no longer need that, so there you have it. All right, keep it moving. We are going, so again, our next cocktail is the B&F Old Fashioned, so we're going to start out.
Before you go on, can I try that?
Of course, yeah.
Pretty excited.
Cheers.
Pretty excited about that.
Hope it's up to your snuff. You're seasoned bar guy. That's putting it mildly.
I can't wait. Oh, yum.
Yeah.
That is delicious.
Very nice. Cheers. Cheers to you, Bob.
Yum. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Yum.
It's an honor to serve you.
I'll have about 7 more of those.
Yeah, right.
And you'll find me underneath the tables over there. Just wake me up tomorrow. Tons of flavor. Tons of flavor.
Yeah, right? Yeah. All those ingredients, the Pedro Jimenez just offers so much character and body to it. We're going to do a little bit of the Zucca Rhubarb. It's a rhubarb, also Piedmontese Amari. And we're going to, this is a bacon wash. So I love umami utilization in cocktails. So I basically take bacon grease and I freeze it into a dry vermouth overnight. And offers beautiful, beautiful flavors, especially with whiskey. It's been sort of a trend lately, but instead of infusing bacon directly into the whiskey, I like to use it in a second ingredient, like an aromatized wine or vermouth. That way I can get a better feel for it. So I don't do 2 ounces of straight bacon wash. All right, so in this particular cocktail, I'm not going to stir it. So it's one of the things. Pick that technique up in Chicago, working for Billy Sunday. In this particular cocktail, we add a 0.75 of water directly to distilled water right to the cocktail. And then we're going to add 0.25 of simple or sugar in the raw. I prefer sugar in the raw, but we're gonna. This is it's not going to have a ton of difference on the flavor. So I usually give it a little stir like that and just pour it right over. And I'm always resetting. All right. And just to infuse a little bit of chill, I'll give it a little spin. So it's not, but usually it's not too much of an issue as far as chill. The important part of stirring is chilling. But we're pouring it directly over ice, so I think I'm okay. We're going to add a orange zest. I love those oils. There's just nothing like orange expressed over. And if you hit the camera right, you'll see those oils expressing, and you can be liberal with that and give it a nice wrap around. I'm going to trim that up just a little bit. I always thought it's good bar practice to trim your zest, as a great bartender once trained me. And there you have it, our barrel and fork old fashioned. So fairly straightforward, but a lot of flavor. And let me pull that back a little bit. And yeah, it's and then the great thing about this drink too, again with the ice. I know I go on and on about the ice, but that's going to last a while. You've got a nice, very dense, colder cube in there that's going to last. And because it was hand cut, it basically is as cold as it can get as soon as it goes into the glass. So yeah, cheers. Barrel and fork.
All right, now can I try that one?
Hey man, that's all you, buddy.
I want to get some of that too.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Third?
I got no problem doing a third. You tell me what, I can start wrapping it up if you want.
What's under that? I was going to ask you to make another old fashioned so I could taste it.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm all about it.
Yeah. And it's also kind of nice. Sometimes we do that with the drinks. We'll make one a second time for review and then also try it.
Yum! I love it.
Good.
So what do you sell? Let me. Will you make Alex another one of those old fashions?
Yeah, I'd love to.
And then I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and then we can wrap things up. So what do you think you guys? Which one of these do you sell the most of over there?
I think we probably on a given night we'll do 30 to 40 old fashions.
So a ton of old fashions.
Yeah, it's definitely, they love their whiskey, but folks are still getting, familiarizing themselves with rye-based cocktails as well.
Sure.
So even though Manhattans are more, definitely very well known, rye whiskey is still something that I think people are palate-wise are getting accustomed to. So, but yeah, they're both entry points into the rest of the program. So, I'd be happy to make you a Boulevardier or one of our whiskey sour style. So we do a whiskey ginger style cocktail. It's a whiskey sour with egg white, and it's fantastic. But I might, as an entry point, give you one of these cocktails. And an important part of what I do as well is kind of gauging where your palate is. Do you like sweet? Do you like spirituous? Do you like bitter? Do you like sour? I have some people who I have some people who literally just want lemon or lime juice and vodka. No sugar. I mean, that's a sour palate. So. Everybody's different. Everybody likes what they like, so it's my job to figure out what that is exactly. So I'll go ahead and get another old fashioned going here. So one of the things I really like to do is I've been playing around with aromatics. Dry ice is an easy one for me. So this is actually picked from the barrel and fork garden here. We have a little thyme and some fresh mint. And this is a way to kind of get those aromatics going across the whole bar. So it's something when you first sit down and you're going to start to really get the smell of those aromatics almost right away. And it's basically, that's what I call it, aromatic aperitif, because it's you're preparing the digestion. You're preparing yourself to consume something. So gets you excited. Gets the palate ready. Every first expression is with the olfactory. We smell before we taste, and sometimes we smell even before we see. So let's get the there you have it. And I love the way the smoke kind of falls across the bar as well. So if you're at the bar and waiting, and this is a great conversation piece as well. So if you're at the bar, it's busy. You might have to wait a few minutes for your drink. It's hard to be too anxious if you have this have this in front of you. So it's little techniques like that keep people engaged and excited.
So Jade, do you guys do y'all serve food as well, or is it just cocktails?
Yeah. Chef Justin does phenomenal stuff. He does a Wagyu meatloaf that is out of this world. Highly recommended. Chef Justin hails from Connecticut, where he ran a small restaurant, very similar to Barrel and Fork. The food is it focuses on new American cuisine, but very savory, very rich, fatty flavors. So, things like the bone-in tomahawk pork chop, for example, is out of this world.
Do you think what do you think your most popular food dish is there?
I would say
or top two.
Man, on the appetizer side, we have a fried green tomato that is wow. It's hard to explain. It's so good. It's a little. It's like a salsa. It's like a little bacon on top and with microgreens. It is just one of the most beautiful dishes I've ever seen presented. And I would say our fish is actually something we've really been bumping up lately, especially being in the Lake area. We do, for example, a grilled mahi that's fantastic. Apologies to chef. I'm probably not doing this food.
The rod and reel is always a good.
Rod and reel, that's right. Yeah. So it evolves and changes up every day.
Yeah.
Hello. So, and the great thing about this cocktail is I can use any whiskey I want. I can use. I love using the barrel strength proof. Like a double Woodford oak, double oak, which just came out recently. I think it's that really nice dense oak there, and those caramel and vanilla and honeysuckle flavors just bounces this cocktail like nothing else. So again, 1/4 ounce of our Zucca. Little Zucca goes a long way. And I'm not afraid to dump a little if I feel that I've over poured in my jigger. The most important thing is that you get the best cocktail possible, not that I'm avoiding throwing anything out. I'd rather throw away a whole drink than have you have a drink that you don't necessarily like, And all right, again, we're going to add the water directly there and a little sugar. It just feels good to hold a jigger again. I haven't held a jigger in months.
All right.
Wow, it's like getting on a bike again. This feels great. So we've already got our BFC. I call them BFCs, big FN cubes. So it's the Philly term. I don't know if that ever came down and became popular down this way. Oh, I had my. Okay, I gotcha. All right, so give it a little spin and slow pour, and of course orange zest. The orange expression is so important. It imparts a bitterness that's really pleasant and pleasurable. Bartenders are getting so funky with all the fruits they use, but I tell you, lemons, limes, and oranges will always be the cornerstone fruits of our business. It's hard to imagine a day unless they start splicing some DNA or something and get something even better out of it. So I usually don't do lime and lemon expressions, at least not in the glass. Our recipes call for lemon expressions. For example, a classic martini I would love doing. But I wouldn't necessarily get aggressive with the zest the way I do the orange, because like the lemon and lime are so, the peel are so bitter and so acidic. So I don't want that incorporated. So there you have it. Barrel and fork old fashioned. I really like the old fashioned glasses, by the way. Those remind me of like a 1960s style. I have some of those.
That's beautiful. I love it, Alex. I'm sure you're going to enjoy yours as much as I enjoyed mine. Okay, Mr. Jade, will you please tell us anything else that you want our viewers to know about the barrel and fork, and then tell us where we can find you guys when everything opens back up, and then let's get on out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have a very growing and impressive spirits. Sorry, I got to get back on camera here. Just a second. Spirits is one of the things we're really focusing on, and North Carolina, obviously, it's notoriously challenging to get great and unique spirits, unfortunately. So it takes time to curate some of these spirits, but everything from great whiskey obviously is a cornerstone of what we do. I don't want to undersell our whiskey program. I think it's everything from great bourbons, from some things that you might be more traditionally familiar with, like Weller. But I mean, I love, for example, a Bullet cask strength. That I think is fantastic. So constantly building up our gin portfolio, and really an Amaro portfolio, and sourcing more spirits. So it's just a great place to come, and gives us more opportunities when building beautiful cocktails, or simply to sip on a great spirit. And we hope to, we've only been out of 6 months, so we hope to continue doing some really great creative things based in the classics, with really phenomenal presentations, and just an exciting atmosphere to enjoy these things. So I appreciate you giving me the time to talk, and this has been great. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
We appreciate having you here.
Yeah, thank you.
We enjoyed it very much.
I appreciate it.
We want to remind about tomorrow, 5 o'clock.
Tomorrow, 5 o'clock, we are going to be doing another happy hour, live streaming from Facebook here at the Cool Fish Bar. So if you guys have any suggestions or any requests for what we need to be doing, please feel free to leave comments below. And if not, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Jade.
Yes, cheers, Bob. Thank you. Thanks, Alex.